Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer number LB1002-400-H-601. This is a single acting spring hinge, hold open, full mortise, brass base. I had to test that with the magnet. Bright black japanned finish. This is a rare hinge for us to sell, and here's why. It is a full surface spring hinge. This is a hold open, which really means it's like a reverse action sort of hinge, intended for lavatory sorts of applications, where you have partition hardware, really. Doors, partition hardware, toilet partitions, things of that nature. Now, it would be very unusual to use this in a situation outside of that, because while you could certainly use it as a full surface reverse spring hinge, there is no swag on that hinge leaf. So this is meant to be fully surface mounted. A typical door, if you're trying to use it as a typical door, would be slightly inset into the frame, 3/32 of an inch, something like that. So this would really not be your best choice unless you were to pad that out a little bit. Please keep that condition in mind when you're determining whether or not this hold open type hinge is going to work for you. Could you possibly make it work? Yeah, sure, you probably could. People do all the time. If you called up the manufacturer and said, will it work, their technical answer would be no, it's not made for doing that, because it's not. This hinge is available in, well, you can certainly order it in lots of different finishes. We don't have every possible finish in the site, but being of brass-based material, you could certainly do this in polished brass, satin brass, polished chrome, satin chrome, things of that nature. This is a bright black japanned. Now, where you're going to see this hinge is in, I have personally seen it in high-end hotels where you have very custom-made lavatory stalls, restroom facilities, and in locker rooms. I've seen this sort of material. Now, the fasteners are covered in depth in a video below this video. There's a video tucked into the extended description of it that goes over that information at length. Now, what you're going to get, in essence, and I'm not going to give all the math, but a better of a summary, you're going to get a cap screw. So for every hinge, you've got 4 holes. You're going to get a total of 8 of those, because you're going to through bolt it through the door and the jamb. For this hole, you'd need 2, and so on. You're going to get a reinforcing backing plate. You're actually going to get 2 of them. Those are also brass, by the way. So your hinges, again, you've got 2 of them. They're going to be like this, and they're going to be bolted through the door. And obviously those cap screws are going to look like this on one side, and then this on the other. Okay, one-way sort of slotted screws, theft resistant as a result. You're going to get a total of 4 pieces of threaded rod, 1024 per hinge, 8 screws. You're going to get 2 short 1024 threaded rod brass, 2 long 1024 threaded rod brass. The length of this is 5/8. The length of this is 1 1/8. You can, as a result of those lengths, achieve about a maximum thickness of the jamb of about 7/8. You can achieve, with using the 5/8 length rod, about 7/8. With the 1 1/8 threaded rod, you can get out to a maximum door thickness of 1 3/8. Door, jamb, whatever you're using it on. The bottom line is, the shorts are going to get you out to about 7/8. The longs will get you out to about 1 3/8. Now, there would certainly be nothing from preventing you from cutting these down even more, or getting longer 1024 threaded rod. But from the factory, this is how they come. Very typical, very common threaded rod. Well, I don't know how common it is to get 1024, but you can sure get it at industrial supply houses. Now, the description of this item specifically says for use on lavatory stall doors. It is surface mounted. It is zero swag. It is meant to be slapped on right to the face of the door and jamb. Adjustable spring tension, and we'll go over that in a moment. It is hold open. We'll go over that in a moment as well. Brass base material. 1/4 inch radius, which, you know, is only there, well, I don't know why specifically it is there, but I could imagine that having a broken edge like this would certainly be one less thing for a coat to be caught on, things of that nature, safety reasons. Okay. 2 back plates furnished with each hinge, 4 through bolts and nuts per hinge, etc., etc. Now, there is a link below this video to the template. That shows everything important dimensionally about this hinge, and we'll go over it now. It's 4 inch tall, and the width when laid open is right about 3 7/8. Okay. They don't really give an offset from the back side of the leaf, but we can somewhat guess what it is here, or at least eyeball it. So from the leaf, if that's going to be horizontal to the outside of the knuckle, you're about 5/8 of an inch. Okay. So when it's slapped onto the door and frame, the projection is about 5/8 is what I'm trying to say. The location of the screw holes are also given on that template. Some people like to know that because they're replacing one of these that was done a couple of decades ago and don't want to have to drill new holes at all. So knowing where those hinges are, screw holes are located is very handy. Now, the installation instructions, there is also a link below this video as well, and you will likely get those with your installation. Now, for the hold open version, okay, and you can pull this document up, you're going to prepare the door and stile as shown in figures 1 and 2. I do not see a figure 1. Figure 2. They must mean, oh, there it is, forgive me. Figure 1, okay, laying out where that is. Figure 2 gets you showing, pardon me, figure 2 gets you showing where the hinges are to be located, okay. About 2 inch from the top for the first hinge, center, the middle one, and then 2 inch from the bottom for the bottom hinge, assuming you're doing 3. It'd be typical to do 3. Now, install the hinge with the what they call the adjustment end of hinge up. This is the tension collar. Install this pointed up. You'll see the bottom side does not feature a tension collar. That's normal. Okay. Now, once you have the door hung, hinges are exactly properly placed, and the vertical axis of pivoting is plumb. That's crucial. You don't want that door to creep any way to fight the spring hinge or to not operate correctly. So make sure that you're plumb. With this hinge, because it's a hold open the door all the way to its maximum. Okay. Now, looking at figure 3, your hinge is going to somewhat look like this. And it's from this side that you will set the tension. Your order is going to come with a tension rod. And that is just this black piece of steel that you see there. It's going to also come with a tension pin. In this video you see 2 of them, and that's because this client's order has 2 hinges on it. Now, you take that tension rod and you insert it into the tension collar, into one of the holes that are here, and you rotate that clockwise. And as you do so, you reveal new additional holes in there. And it's into one of those new holes that you would insert your tension pin. Maximum 3 holes is about typical for that. Yep, rotate clockwise, insert your tension pin into the hole in the right side of the tension lever, as shown. Release the tension lever until the tension pin contacts the right-hand side of the adjustment slot. Remove tension lever and try door for opening force and amount of desired opening. If desired force or opening is not achieved, if desired force or the opening is not achieved, repeat the above steps in one direction or the other until the force and opening is satisfactory. Drive tension pin in flush with the hinge tube when force and opening are satisfactory. So about 3 holes, pretty typical. And what they want you to do is when you get it all said and done, actually tap it all the way in so it's not projecting. Okay, that would be a safety concern there. They're showing 3 hinges. Now, obviously 2 hinges will hang a door, But 3 is what is shown on the installation instructions, even for something relatively light like partition hardware. But the point of the matter is, you want that, if you want to hold open, you want that door to get to that hold or open position, 90 degree, let's say. You want it to do so without slamming, and you certainly want it to get all the way there. You don't want it hanging in the opening. I have found that when you have the proper quantity of springs on a door, that you can share that work evenly or better across those multiple spring hinges. But you can set the tension such that when the door is in the open position and there's no tension, okay, you can get it pushed all the way open. Store enough energy in those springs when the door is in the closed position so that it will predictably and reliably open all the way. If you're underpowered in the spring department, you'll have to set the tension on those springs very high just to get the door moving through its opening cycle with enough inertia so that it reaches where it has to go. Sometimes you'll get a situation where it will slam because you get it moving so quickly. And because it's a spring, there's no way to break that at all or to slow it down. I have found when you have 3 spring hinges, and you could probably get away with 2, that you can set that tension a bit less on each of them, store enough residual energy, as in torque, like on a tugboat. They don't go very fast, but they can pull a lot of weight. You can get that door when it's in the closed position, open it, and then it will, move to the 90 degree open position without it being forced to get going very quickly. You'll have enough energy at that critical final opening cycle so that it can get predictably to where it has to go. Anyway, just my experience on using this material. That pretty much covers it. Now, the non-hold open version is the same hinge, except that spring assembly is reversed, and you approach it from this side when the door is in the closed position. Otherwise, it works the same way. Okay? Bommer. The last thing I'd like to point out to you is their company logo, and right above it it says Made in USA. That's a fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I to represent them. Any questions on the Bommer LB1002-400-H-601 full surface spring hinge or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us.